Welcome to episode 76 of the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Minogues.
And I'm Brian Hines. How is everybody today?
Today we're getting to all the action from OVW TV 1321, which emanated live originally from legendary Hot Point Davis Arena on December 5th, 2024. But first,
there's me.
I know I skipped it. It was it was not intentional. I jumped over our usual patter here at the beginning. It was not intentional. But
I don't know that
Tiny
we have
Brian,
usual pattern.
Tiny Brian is with us.
I'm Tiny Brian, and I am invisible.
All of our stuff is unusual.
That was very ominous. Ominous?
Ominous.
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 Spell that.
Ominous. O-M-I-N-O-U-S. Ominous.
Nice. Very well done.
This has become a podcast that is way too much about spelling for me.
Very well done. We'll get into all the action, like I said, from the OVW Rise from this past week, and what a night it was. But first, let's tell the good people of the good listeners of the OVW podcast where they can find their favorite OVW superstars in person.
So you can find them every Thursday at Hot Point Davis Arena for OVW Rise. Doors open at 6:05. Show usually starts around 6:15 with some early matches before Rise starts from 7 to 9. Coming up this Friday, we've got OVW Seasons Beatings at Country Boy Brewing, and that's the Georgetown, Kentucky tap room. That is December 13th, 2024. The very next night, OVW Christmas Chaos at Hot Point Davis Arena, December 14th, 2024. And OVW Winter Warfare at New Kensington, PA on January 25th, 2025. Tickets for all of these and anything else that is OVW in the future will be found at OVWTix.com.
I guess this is probably a good time to mention, too, that on the day that this drops, OVW will be recording the OVW Awards for the first time ever open to public.
Yeah, you can you can get a ticket that will get you a general admission seat for that, for the Thursday night Rise the next night, for Country Boy the next night, and for Christmas Chaos on Saturday. So if you've ever wanted to do wrestling things on 4 nights in a row, this is your big chance.
And trust us, guys, it's not all it's cracked up to be, but it's fun the first couple of times.
We do wrestling things a lot around here.
There is an awful lot of wrestling stuff, that is
One
to be sure.
Wrestling thing we will not be doing around here tomorrow, important programming note, is that Fan Zone Live is preempted tomorrow.
Right, because we will be, in theory,
in Louisville
at the
and
award
if not,
show.
A whole lot of people who would normally watch us will be in Louisville. So, we're gonna stay off of their coattails and just let that happen, and we will be back the following week on the 18th, I guess it is.
That is
for
correct.
our Christmas party.
Yes.
And then we'll be on a best of the following week.
Ooh, wait, hold on. We're actually going to have a Christmas party?
Next Wednesday.
Is
the
Doug
18th.
coming?
I don't know. I am opening it up to anyone who would like to come, including if Doug would like to come back and dominate our Christmas party. He's allowed, I guess. Whoever would like to show up from the OVW Nation, you come on out and hang out with us a week from tomorrow on the 18th when we have our OVW Fan Zone Christmas party.
Well, all right then.
That'll be fun. I suppose.
One more thing I guess we should bring up. I don't know that we've really talked about it, but we do have the opportunity to go and record our regular Friday recording, which we do when there's a pay-per-view. We record on Fridays. We can go do that at Country Boy this week before the wrestling.
Well, I feel like if they're going to be nice enough to have us, we should probably take advantage of that opportunity.
So if you're in Georgetown or Lexington or Louisville and you've always wanted to see the weirdness that is this really live, not just on video, you can come to Country Boy. I think we're going to get started. We'll put it out on our socials. I think we're going to get started around 4. Okay. Kind of depends on when OVW and everything, because we got to stay out of their way. This will be in the tap room, not anywhere near where the actual wrestling show is going to happen.
It's like on the other side of the wall.
It's the other side of the wall, but we will be out of their way. But we will finish up before gates open to go into for the wrestling show.
Right.
So you just come a little early, hang out with us. We got an hour. After that, we will you can get in and watch some seasonal beatings.
I'm gonna stay away. I'm gonna stay away from that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah, I
with
didn't
a
realize
10-foot
what I
pole.
said until after it was already out of my mouth.
I'm gonna stay away from that one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, lots of stuff happening in and around our world, the podcast world, but obviously in and around the world of Ohio Valley Wrestling in general. Huge week for OVW, trying to finish out the year strong here. We will see how we got there right after this.
Hey folks, Tiny Brian here with you. Listen, we are still planning to do a best of for the podcast and a best of for Fan Zone Live. We need to know what you loved about what we did this year. We'd love to get your feedback. We got a couple weeks. If there's any segments, anything that we've talked about, any interviews that you'd love to see some bits and pieces of in our best of this year, we want you to reach out on social media, post in the Fan Zone. We are watching all those channels. Direct message us. Let us know. We did have some of you reach out to start talking. We're going to do some videos. I think we're going to do some pre-recorded videos, gentlemen, of interviews with some fans who are not local.
Okay.
Instead of trying to do those live and both stream and do a live video chat, which is heck on our internet connection here to try to not make a terrible live video, we will pre-record some. I think we're going to pre-record some interviews with those, with some folks. So those have already started to come in.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So
Anybody we know?
Oh, we'll talk about it off air. There's a few people who have popped up. But yeah, we want to talk to you. We want to hear what you want to see on a best of. You know, we just really love you guys, and we
couldn't do it without you.
We just want to
right.
give you a big audio hug over the next few weeks and show you how much we care about you, and we're so glad that you tune in to this weird little program that we do a couple times a week in different forms.
There's now more options than ever where you can spend your time, whether it be with just audio content or video content, and the fact that anybody spends their time with us is very humbling.
Very humbling and you know, at first kind of astonishing. Like, wow, really? Somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, I watched your show. I had a really good time." And it's never not going to be surreal for me.
I don't know. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's adapted to the fame. Fame. You guys should really hear my quotation fingers.
Yeah, it would always, whenever I was like playing in a band, I was lead singer, and like girls would treat me like I was a Backstreet Boy, and I'm like, I gotta go to work in 5 hours. Can I? Like, I'm just a normal person. Yeah, like, just no. I mean, I am incredibly talented, yes, and very good looking, yes, I know, but I'm just a normal person, guys. Just a normal person.
All right, so I don't know
Normal
exactly what we're
subjective.
advertising here, but we're going to close it out and send it back to the OVW podcast already in progress.
All right, let's get into it. Because we start off hot. We really do. Donovan Cecil and Brandon Beretta.
What a great match to start this off.
The intensity from Brandon Beretta is all there, as we've known him to be in every single match that we've seen him. But this time,
He's really
if
gobbling
anything,
it up.
it's cranked up because he has to wear the turkey
Right.
outfit until he defeats an opponent.
and that's a big challenge. Donovan Cecil is.
Well, yeah.
But I think that him really going toe-to-toe with Donovan Cecil really kind of there were several points where Donovan we saw him in a little bit more compromised position than we're used to seeing. But nonetheless, Donovan overpowers Brandon Beretta. Brandon Beretta's got to keep the chicken suit on.
Turkey.
What did I say?
You said chicken.
Oh, well, it's
No.
past Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's a chicken to me now.
Just
No,
a brown
it's-
chicken.
It's still a turkey.
Yeah, no, it's turkey's
It's
only
a turkey with an attitude.
turkeys only
So-
exist during November.
Wait, are you saying turkeys aren't real?
Hashtag research fake turkeys.
That's a different conversation again for a different day. But I am under the impression that turkeys only exist for 30 days in fall.
Weird.
No, that's not the case.
That's not the case.
No.
Can we take a moment, since there's going to be no Fan Zone Live this week? We do know that tomorrow, or from when this comes out, Thursday, we'll see the return of OVW fan favorites, former tag team champions Tusks and Chains.
Really?
Oh,
And they will take on somebody for the number one contendership, for the number one contender to the tag champions.
That will be a lot of fun. Can't wait
Wow.
to see TW3 back.
Yes, we have missed him. We know he's been busy out doing some training at WoW. They must be, maybe they're off season right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. That might be a him question or a Maria question or something like that. But yeah, I don't know specifics. But obviously, the way that they shoot, it is a little bit more like a television program. So it is not week in and week out the way that OVW is.
yeah, that's true. And this is for the people of Southern Ohio. If you are interested in checking out WoW, check your local listings. I'm pretty sure it's Star 64 at 11 p.m. on Saturdays. But-
And Tussin Change is taking on Jay De Niro and Tony Evans, by the way.
Interesting.
That's their opponents for the number one contendership.
Interesting. There's a lot of different possibilities there. And I think, while we're talking about it on the unofficial show, a lot of it probably does come down to TW3's availability moving
Sure.
forward. But glad to see him back. And I mean, Tustin Chains, that's where it all started, baby. That's where the Year of the Mammoth really started.
That's right. By the way, did you check out his new gear in that match?
I did.
Looks sharp.
Very.
Looking sharp.
So much more kind of aggressive and kind of put his head down and go work kind of Donovan Cecil presentation. I really enjoy it.
When those two were on the mat and Beretta had him in a headlock, seeing him just like roll over and like grab him and like just slam his head into the mat to get out of that was just really good heads up ball as far as being in a lockup and finding a brute force way out of it. So good job.
I do think it was very important, though, to have Beretta in with a guy like Donovan Cecil and kind of play equal ball with Donovan. Right, Donovan still won. I still won. I still wanted Donovan to win. I don't think anybody was shocked that Donovan won.
No.
But I think that every single time he gets closer and closer, Beretta does, people are just going to be waiting for it.
Yeah.
Does he come out of this a face? Does he come out of this with the audience in his pocket?
I think so.
I feel the urge to want to cheer for him myself, I have to tell you.
What have I said? What have I always said? What have we always said on here? You show up, you show off. People are going to love you there. Beretta's got the goods. He's got the goods. He just happens to be in a chicken suit.
It's turkey.
It's December.
Oh, yeah. But
That would make it a
still.
goose suit.
It's not.
Goose suit.
Please, we left them. We fought a whole war over not having to eat goose at Thanksgiving or at Christmas. So
What came next?
Yeah, you tell me. I don't know.
up next was the first time that we see Doug and Katie for the evening, and Doug is looking the way only Doug can look, and looking at Katie at the only way that Doug can look at Katie, and he's basically trying to convince her. He knows that Cal's up to no good. He knows that Cal's kind of playing a scheme after last week. And he's trying to basically keep her in line in the revolution, right? Try to sow those seeds of Tony Gunn is actually the one that has your best interest. We're actually the one that has your best interest.
It would appear so, but I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see how that goes.
So match number 2, bout number 2 of the night proper here. Dustin Jackson, newly crowned media champion.
Been a few weeks now. I don't know if he's still newly minted.
I think that the fresh car smell
Still
still
a whiff
there.
of the new car smell.
I think the fresh car smell's still there on Dustin Jackson's media championship run so far. He comes out to do commentary against for the match of AJZ versus Jack Vaughn. I want to say this, but so I don't forget to say it. This is the best AJZ match since he's been back. No doubt in my mind about it. Is some of that because you're working with the veteran Jack Vaughn? Yeah, probably. But I loved AJZ's mat game here. I loved AJZ throwing out submissions. I think that he was able to give Jack Vaughn some area to kind of to be more believable. We all know how much Jack Vaughn loves to be like a very consistent, believable like wrestler, make it look real wrestler. I think AJZ is the perfect foil for that. And as the match went on, I was a little surprised that AJZ won, but whenever you see Dustin come out and do commentary, I kind of thought that the fix was in for Jack Vaughn. But it wasn't for lack of trying on Jack Vaughn's part.
Well, I mean, you take a look at it. AJZ seemed like he was even more intense than usual.
Mm-hmm.
The German suplex game from AJZ is the best in the business.
Yep.
I mean, he hit Vaughn with at least 2 of them in the clip that we're watching right now. And, I mean, as far as that goes, he's masterful when it comes to that. And like you said, I mean, the ground game was strong.
Great.
And it wasn't a walk in the park for Jack Vaughn. I thought for sure Jack Vaughn had this in the bag. But, you know, it wasn't his night, unfortunately, for the veteran.
Well, and I guess for me, kind of, we know that AJZ, the character, he's the hunter. He's very intense. He's very, primal. He doesn't even talk. He probably doesn't this version of this character probably doesn't cut promos, right? But I never bought or have seen the true, the intensity in the ring to equal out that intensity of the character. And I think AJZ brought it tonight. I think down to the finish where he literally bites his way out of Jack Vaughn's offense and goes for a giant powerbomb. I thought it was really good stuff. I would be remiss, however, if I didn't mention this. We see Dustin Jackson come out, and what is he wearing?
Leather jacket.
And we know this not only because Dustin, I might have missed it, but I haven't seen him wear a leather jacket before. And Ashcraft goes out of his way to comment on it.
Yes, I noticed that too. As a matter of fact, we were texting back and forth during the show, and we both kind of made mention of that. And what was it he came out and said? He said, "There's no way I'm turning my back on OVW."
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
So you know where I'm going with this. I'll ask the question plainly. And
I'm picking
front.
up what you're putting down, yeah.
Is Dustin Jackson turning heel anytime soon? My answer, no. I think that you would be getting rid of a lot of goodwill and a lot of momentum that Dustin very, very much deserves, and I think that he should have a little bit longer having his cake, getting his flowers, whatever you want to call it, right?
Brian, what do you think?
Well, I mean, that was kind of my knee-jerk reaction. You see somebody who has a typical style. Anytime you see him, 9 times out of 10, you know, you can tell it's them. It's,
right.
You know, the same ring gear or the same vibe or the same, just the sameness about seeing them on a consistent basis. And then to see somebody come out and they change their appearance a little bit makes you wonder. I mean, do I know what's going to happen? No. But you just never know. It's an interesting possibility, and the world of wrestling is full of twists and turns.
I will say this. Babyface heel, doesn't matter. Looked like a champion. Looked dope as shit wearing that leather jacket.
They did take a moment to actually put the camera on him at the end of the match. When he stood up at the announce table, they really kind of framed that shot up for the TV audience.
Yeah.
And he was talking into the TV mic. So it very much feels broadcast to
I
me.
wonder if he used one of those discount codes that Leather Daddy Doug had for Men's Warehouse or Leather Depot or wherever it is.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that no offense, Doug. No offense.
Dustin's leather.
Dustin's leather's a little nicer.
Before we move off of this match, I do want to, since we're not doing Fan Zone Live tomorrow, Thursday there will be a match between AJZ and Cal Hero. If you guys want to just comment on that, I won't ask for a full prediction, but just any thoughts on that? You think that they're going to be able to extend this AJZ putting on this kind of very emblematic show?
Well, it would seem that this is the build-up to Christmas Chaos, and he's going to be a big part of it, and his rivalry with Dustin Jackson, it would appear, will play into that, the last pay-per-view of the year. But time will tell. It usually does.
Well, and as far as Cal and AJZ go, Cal is the reason Dustin beat Tony. Tony and Cal have a match already. So Cal is AJZ, I guess, in wrestling storyline, is still mad at Cal for losing Tony's thing, right?
Do we think Tony and Dustin will have a match too? That would, based on that logic, that would imply that.
Well, that was kind of where I was going. Do we know what Dustin's doing and do we know what Tony's doing yet?
I don't see anything. I don't have any information on Tony. No.
That would be kind of my guess, is that we're swapping partners for a dance.
That is a very common go home show situation.
Right. But I don't know. That's just a guess. I'm sitting here rambling. So, we did mention though that because we did mention that AJZ takes the victory.
Yes, he sure did.
I think
he bid his way to victory.
So I will say this about the next ring sketch. I really like the Tony Evans promos that aren't just like him yelling. Like, I kind of like this like kid that knows he's doing bad trying to suck up to the teacher thing that Tony Evans does with Katie. And I also love to think of Katie as always 3 Pinot Grigios deep. The character of Katie, always 3 Pinot Grigios deep. And I think whenever you think of her character like that, it adds a lot of context. But Will Austin tells Jay De Niro that he of course owns him. He's going to take part of the money, et cetera, et cetera. That's when we see what I was talking about, Katie Katie emerging with Tony Evans.
Which chases Will off immediately.
Yeah, which Will dips high set out of town. And then he says, Cal's not all he's cracked up to be. He might be trying to manipulate you. He might be trying to trick you. But we would never do that because we're 2 stand-up guys, and we know how to treat a lady. And then Tony Evans takes a page out of the Wendy and Ren.
Yeah.
And just goes
it's weird
straight
that started with us.
Well, I'm not gonna. I don't know.
To be fair, I think it started long before us.
Yeah,
if we're picking up what I'm putting down.
Mentioning it on OVW air, however.
Long before us.
That's what she said.
Yeah, he said 47
Hey-o.
kids. 47 kids, I think, right?
Yes.
Hey, it's good stuff. Jay's a good guy, man.
Yeah.
He's got a good sense of humor. So like, between that accusation and being called the best ace hole, like Jay's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good dude.
What do we have up next? Oh, I remember. Leo Fox pays off Eric Surge, who we recognize pretty prominently, and another gentleman, Anthony Toatelli. Did I have that right?
Totelli.
Totelli.
Is
Fratelli.
it Tortelli or Totelli?
It's Fratelli.
Okay.
I'm kidding. It's not.
But he approaches.
You've never seen the Goonies?
I have.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
He
Love the Goonies.
I would assume that. Never mind.
I bet Leo
I was gonna
Fox
say so. I was gonna
used
say
the,
something, but then I decided.
I bet Leo Fox paid him off with the Underhill's credit card.
So I kind of like Leo Fox, kind of being. I don't want to. He is the most emergent member of the Revolution.
Yes.
Right. He's the one we knew the least amount about before, and since he's been in the Revolution, we've seen him kind of. He plays somewhere between a heavy and.
A mouth?
Yeah, a mouthpiece, and yeah, he's in an interesting role right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to get him in and talk to him. There's things I need you guys to figure out about this guy. There's a lot going on.
With Leo Fox.
Would you care to elaborate, or?
I mean, let's look. I mean, he's got all the wrappers on his sleeve, on his tattoo
They mentioned that in the
sleeves.
commentary
They
too.
do. Yeah, I'm not. These are things I want to ask questions about, or I want you guys to ask questions. I don't really participate in the interviews,
But he's insinuating that if these 2 gentlemen can take out their opponents beyond getting a 3 in the ring, really, putting them up on the shelf for a little bit, that there will be more money to come. Just so happens, though, that these 2 gentlemen's opponents for the evening are Adam Revolver and Jesse Goddard.
not looking good.
Not
We had
especially.
seen the Totelli guy. We had seen him at the pay-per-view. He was in one of the big, I think he was in the reverse Battle Royal.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That.
So it was not our first.
Well, and that wasn't a pay-per-view. That was just a regular old.
It really
a
was,
regular old
so-
Rise. It
That
just
was
felt-
that was Overdrive Live.
You're right.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even Rise.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yep.
I will go out of
Adam Revolver.
my way
That's right.
here to say that Adam Revolver and Jesse Goddard are, maybe it's just personal preference for me, the best tag team in OVW right now. That's they just in terms of chemistry and in terms of like the timing and tag team wrestling and stuff that I like. I was floored by how much I enjoyed Jesse Goddard and Adam Revolver.
This was the tag team that I didn't know I needed to see.
Yes. Not Jesse, but Adam even does, like, comes over the top rope at one point. Like, there's just a lot of really great tag team action, like a lot of great saves that they do between just some great communication, some great tag team doubled maneuvers. Book them.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really did. I'm very much looking forward to what these boys are going to have in store at the pay-per-view proper, which I assume we're heading toward Leo Fox and Shane and the Dude versus Adam Revolver and Jesse Goddard.
That is what I hope to see.
That is
I really hope so.
that's what the crystal ball says right now, at least in wrestling logic. But
Well, we should have Shannon back this week. He was out on the KSR road trip last week.
He
so-
should be back now because according to what we saw on Facebook, he was heading back to Kentucky yesterday. So
Yeah,
they
he's
ought to be
back.
about
He was
time.
on the radio this morning, so he's back.
But Revolver and Pectacular looked great. I mean, lots of quick tags.
Yep.
Cut the ring off
Yep.
in half. Classic tag team behavior. And, I mean, they looked great.
there's a point where, and I think this is where I really fell in love with it, where Adam is on the outside and Serge has him, or no, I think the smaller guy, Anthony Totelli, whatever, has him, and Jesse just comes and big boots him. The other guy drops Revolver, and then Jesse Goddard comes in. Here it is.
There it
it's
is, right there.
Yeah, Jesse Goddard
Thanks.
runs in, smashes him in the stomach with a big boot, and then just kind of like scurries off.
Yeah,
Makes himself. He does exactly what his team needed to do, but was smart enough to not get in the way of the momentum of the team. Like, I just loved this.
Yeah, this was
Goddard
great.
seems to have, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like Goddard has a whole new energy.
He hasn't been in a wrestling ring, or the OVW ring. I'm sure he's been practicing, keeping up. You don't look that good without staying in shape.
Yeah, there was
But-
no ring rust at all.
But I would have to agree that maybe there is something that he just has missed
Well,
about OVW and live wrestling and being on live wrestling.
Well, the presentation, and again, y'all tell me, it feels very, like, if you think about how he came out, how his entrances were when we first started doing this, when he was still leading the faction.
Mhm.
He had such a I am important, I am regal, I am kind of, we're going to go slow, or I'm going to roll in here so I can just pose. And he definitely has a more active energy and a more fast-paced energy, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he probably picked up a lot of that from House of Villains.
I mean, you got to stay on your
Where
toes.
is that
in
on?
songs.
Where is that streaming on?
That is on E, and I think it's Thursdays at 9.
I'm gonna watch that.
I think you can stream it on Hulu. I think most of the E stuff streams on Hulu. I'm not sure.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it does, because that's where the Kardashians are on.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That
don't
would
know. I am proud to say that I have never seen any program that features any of those folks.
I have seen it, because Kanye West was on it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it is like, I don't care what people watch. I watch wrestling. I don't care what people watch. But like, it is so uncanny when you're exposed to something through just like references, and then you see it for the first time, and you're like, oh no, it is just this. Like, it's that you're not missing any. If you saw an SNL sketch about the Kardashians, then you saw the real thing.
It doesn't live up. It doesn't live down. It lives
It just
level.
is. It just is. Yeah. No, it's a strange thing. It's a very strange thing.
Well, for me, it's a take it or leave it thing, and I'm leaving it.
I have a lot of room for shit in my life, just bad television, bad movies. I think we alluded to this enough. Jesse Goddard and Adam Revolver take home the victory here.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I want to see more. I want to see more. I don't know if we will see more. Jesse is probably, again, as we were talking
Busy.
like with TW3, it's shooting a TV series is a different thing than shooting a wrestling show.
Look at that teamwork. That was really nice.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
I loved it.
No, these guys were lockstep with each other the entire time. I loved it.
Yeah.
I want to see more. Jesse Goddard's Adam Revolver. I want to see more. They take the victory. Even Leo Fox trying to get in their head was not enough for their friendship to overcome.
Yeah.
What do we have up next, Brian Hines?
Bout 4, we've got Superior Tony Evans, accompanied to the ring by Jay De Niro versus Luscious Lawrence.
Cream Boy.
Yeah.
Get out here, Cream Boy.
The cream of the crop.
That's what he said. That's what Tony Evans said. After he did, Tony Evans comes to the ring. Hush, let a champion in this ring. Yeah, get out here, Cream
You've
Boy.
got balls.
Yeah, get out here, Cream. Anybody got the balls? Step in this ring with a champion. Get out here, Cream Boy. That's, it's the Tony Evans thing. Shout out to, were you telling me about this? Wendy over the weekend?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Good for you. That was something.
We'll tell the dear listeners what we're talking about.
In case you missed it, Blizzard Brawl was this past weekend, and
You got to get up there sometime.
I've heard that from several people over this weekend. That, oh my God, you've got to go, and oh God, you missed it. But our friends Wendy and Ren were managers, and Wendy accompanied Superior Tony Evans to the ring along with Jay De Niro for his match at Blizzard Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
And Ren was also a manager as well. It escapes me who she accompanied to the ring.
It was not an OVW person. It was a GLCW person.
Oh, well, then that's probably
Somebody
why
we
I
don't
wasn't
know
as
from.
familiar with them. But yes, good for both of you. I am officially jealous. I'm on the unofficial podcast to tell you that I am officially jealous of that because I would like to do that one day, and I have since I was probably about 8 years old.
Yeah, we know Wendy loves Tony Evans. So I bet that was fun for her.
Yeah.
Tony also now has his own shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees, by the way.
Oh, hey, PWT.com.
As long as we're here.
Oh, well, all right. I did not know that.
If we knew that last week, they could have taken advantage of the Black Friday sale. But
Crap.
anyway, Cream Boy and Tony Evans with Jay De Niro come out. Luscious. That's Luscious Lawrence, of course. Beaches is Omar. Cream is Luscious. Can we get a drop of that?
Maybe so.
Cream is Luscious. Cream is Luscious. Just that. There's no context. Cream is Luscious.
Boy, it got weird in here real quick.
The story of this match essentially was that Jay De Niro was able to keep the momentum ever fully swinging the direction of Luscious Lawrence. He serves as a distraction at several points up until the final distraction where Tony can come up, get a little quick little small package, and get the 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I thought that probably the most interesting thing about this match is that Jay De Niro still gets a babyface reception.
Yeah, he's just about as over as anybody else.
People still
these
really
days.
want Jay De Niro.
Yeah.
For someone who has
definitely.
wrestled, I can count on one hand that in a year and a half the number of times Jay De Niro has actually been in a ring wrestling. That crowd, he can do no wrong. I have to admit, I love Jay. You guys know I love Jay personally. I love the character of Jay. I love it all. But I'm a little confused.
I mean, I'm not.
No.
Let me put it to you this way. There's only so long that working people will allow some people to be subjugated, all right? These people are tired of seeing Tony Evans subjugate Jay De Niro. That's all it is.
And yet,
He's the boss that you hate. Tony Evans is the boss that you hate at work. Tony Evans is a stand-in for whatever is happening in your life, and Jay De Niro is the stand-in for you.
And people want to see him give him the old Johnny Paycheck treatment and take this job and shove it.
People want nothing more than to see Jay De Niro quit, because a majority of people want nothing more than to just quit their jobs.
It is a relatable experience for a lot of people.
Just saying. The boss to worker, dynamic will always be one that people it's an easy one to keep going back to, because everyone's had a shitty boss and everyone's had a shitty job.
Yeah, that's true.
Jay De Niro, I guess, just likes this version of his shitty job more than the one he would have had with Will Austin.
Yeah,
but he's still losing money. I don't know. Maybe it is time for for Jay to get out of all of this.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I do think that how long can we keep the notion of Jay De Niro turning on Tony Evans going until people have given up on it or they don't want to see it any longer?
Well, I think leading into Christmas Chaos, that is going to be one of the cliffhangers. There's going to be a situation where we kind of leave off and we don't know what's going to happen next, and this is just conjecture on my part. I don't know anything, and I prove that on a regular basis, that I feel like that is how this is going to end up between those two. There's going to be a question of, are they going to remain business as usual, or is the dynamic of their relationship going to change? And the people get what they want, because the people obviously want Jay.
They'll let you know at every opportunity. I assume. Well, no, I don't, because I know nothing. Like you said, I don't even have anything to assume on.
I don't even know what I don't know. That's how much I don't know.
I think it'll be interesting to see how maybe this is the true gauge. Maybe this is the true gauge of it. Is we take a couple weeks off, we come back after the new year. Are they still chanting "We want Jay," or have they kind of forgotten? Has the time away convinced them that Tony Evans and him will be together forever?
I don't know. I don't see it happening. There's a lot going on the last week of the year. Everybody's busy. Everybody's going to be looking forward to getting back to it on January 2nd, presumably. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the average memory of the OVW fan is that short to where they will just have completely forgotten about the momentum that they had built up before then.
If anything proves to be true, it's that the OVW fan do not forget.
No.
They do not forget.
No, you go away for 3-4 years, as I understand it, because I've not been following that long. But people come back, the crowd will, without any prompting, without anybody from the announce table telling the live audience, they know and will start chanting, "Welcome back."
Mm-hmm. No, and I've been only watching OVW for a certain amount of time, but I've seen, AJZ and Dustin Jackson in the time that I've been watching OVW go away and come back, and they're about to be in a pay-per-view fight. So yeah, I guess I've been fortunate to been watching for a little while and get to see people go away and come back. So yeah, you're very right. The OVW fan base is truly the most dedicated and passionate fan base in all of wrestling. It is absolutely insane how much those people keep up with stuff.
We love you guys.
We do.
You're my favorite.
Tony Evans wins. Did we cover that? We covered that, right?
Yeah, with the loaded baked potato glove being the perfect distraction this time. He didn't actually try to hit it. Just putting it on was enough to distract Luscious long enough for Tony to sneak in and get the small package, as you said.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So we start off. We see J-Rod yell at Katie. She's kind of trying to warn Katie, right? Like, you're not special. You should see what he does. You should see how he talks to everybody else. Kind of trying to let her know, like, when it comes down to it, like, you're not as big as the Revolution, and you're not as big as you think you are. She's the champion. She has all the right to say whatever she wants to say, right?
And she says a lot.
J-Rod, you have we told on here how you got J-Rod with the circle game?
This is the proper venue for it. Why don't you tell that story, Mr. Hines?
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, we were in attendance on Thursday, like we are more often than not. I think we've only missed like 7 or 8 Thursdays this year, but we're there more often than not. And I was exiting the arena at the end of the night, as is customary, because they won't let you just hang out. You know, it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. But she was walking through the crowd, and I was wearing a SpongeBob shirt, which I don't ordinarily wear, but I just happened to find this one and like it. And she looked at me, and she was like, "Your shirt." And I kind of looked down, and I was like, just kind of puzzled as to what she meant. She said, "It's not one of my shirts. Get some class," or something like that. And I was like, hey, neat. Okay, so for a whole week, knowing that I was going to be there the next Thursday, it kind of got under my skin. Like, oh man, I wish I would have said something at the time. So, true to form, the next Thursday, it's time to leave, and she walks by again and hits me with a smart comment. And I said, "Hey, I got to thinking about how things went last week, and you said I wasn't wearing one of your shirts, but actually I was wearing a SpongeBob shirt, and he's an idiot, and he never shuts up, so maybe it was one of your shirts after all."
Damn.
Which, that didn't go so well. So
Burn.
I was escorted by security towards the front of the arena, and stopped at the merch table, as I often do, to talk to folks and make my purchases at the end of the night. And I can't remember who I was talking to, but she came back up and said something again. She said, "Oh, hey, what'd you get?" And I, just was kind of looking around like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Oh, yeah, that's right, nothing." So that one kind of had me a little upset. And so instinctively I said, "Oh, well, maybe you should look again, because I got one of these." And if you know what the circle game is, it's a childhood game going back to at least the 80s.
Childhood or juvenile, depending on who you're asking.
Juvenile, yes. But
young at heart.
As soon as I did that, she looked hook, line, and sinker, and she knew I got her.
She's all credit in the world to J-Rod in the end of the night proceedings as people are leaving. She is out there every week.
Yes.
Up in people's grill. She's got
fully in character.
Fully in character. She's great. She's great. I love to see it. I love to see people just like making that part of the experience more immersive, right?
Yes.
I love that. As a wrestling fan, it's still we hang out with these people. We know these people. It still kind of gets me excited whenever I see wrestlers just doing wrestler things, right?
Yeah.
As simple as just being in character whenever you're signing autographs.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Which is hard for heels. Let's admit it. That's a hard thing
yes,
to do.
Yes.
To come out, be around, actually look people in the eye, and to be the heel character in that moment is incredibly difficult.
Are we good?
No, we're fine.
But J-Rod rises to that occasion, and the look on her face in the momentary break of character, where she had to acknowledge that she got.
Yeah.
Was really, really, really funny.
I wasn't even prepared to tell this story. I was just one of those things I was just going to keep to myself and just kind of laugh at every once in a while whenever I thought about it. But since we brought it up, yeah, once upon a time I got one over on J-Rod, and that'll probably be the only time that ever happens, especially if we're talking about it now, because I'm sure that there's probably a circle-shaped target on my back.
So we start off hour two.
Up at OVW.
We start off the top of hour 2 with Cal Hero in the ring. The Revolution comes out, as they often do, in droves, in numbers.
Well, first Tony just comes out because he's just talking to Tony.
Well, but we know where the rest of them are. They're waiting to come out.
Well, yeah.
So they're going back and forth. Cal's going back and forth, and Cal says to Tony, give me an I Quit match. Give me an I Quit match, right? Give me an I Quit match at the pay-per-view. Tony's a little apprehensive.
He does not look thrilled at the prospect. I will say that.
Doug Basham says immediately, "No, he's got it. He's in."
Yeah, runs out from backstage with his microphone. He's in.
And then, so that gets granted. I love I Quit matches. when I first started to get into wrestling and got the network, and really all I knew about wrestling was Ric Flair. Like, to be 110% honest with you, I just heard that there's this guy that like wrestled for an hour every night for 10 years, 250 times a year, right? I was just like, and then you see the promos and you see all of this stuff, and like you start to really get an idea of like, oh, this is a special kind of weird like character in pop culture and a character in real life, and like da 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 da. And so I'm on the network and I see it's like Ric Flair Essentials, and the first one on there is Ric Flair Terry Funk 1989. I Quit.
Okay.
And I knew Terry Funk just enough to know that like he's like the Stones, and you know Hulk Hogan's like the Beatles, right? Like something, or maybe actually like Terry Funk might be like the 13th floor elevators if we're getting into 60s rock references. But I knew that this guy was great, and without even knowing why wrestling was great, I just heard like Terry Funk's like the real deal. So I turned this on, and it is like the most visceral match I've ever seen. And to this day, I'm like, this feels like almost like a snuff film when you watch it. I love I Quit matches. I am very much looking forward to the I Quit match between Cal and Tony, if for no other reason than I know these two guys are going to knock it out of the park. I wish to goodness that we could see higher quality footage of that street fight, because I can tell just by what I did see that it was amazing. The gentleman's match, I said that was my favorite Tony Gunn ever.
That was something else, yeah.
I said that was my favorite Tony Gunn ever.
We hope he keeps that persona this weekend.
An I Quit match, steel cage. I want those boys choking each other with the mic. What I really want more than anything is wired mics, because that's what I always think of in that Ric Flair Terry Funk match, is just how they're dragging feet and feet and feet of microphone cord all around the ring and all out on the outside of the ring the entire time. And it's just such a visceral image, like, because it's microphone covered in blood, you know? I want that microphone in the face I Quit match between these two. And I think they can pull it off. We'll see what happens. Katie, though, I say all of that to say, as we round out the sketch, Katie makes a match since, again, I think we're kind of trying to tell the story of Katie's ultimate goal for the Revolution is for Katie to run the Revolution.
That seems perfectly clear at this point.
And
yes.
by extension, OVW itself. She wants to
Correct.
be the matchmaker. She wants to hold the pencil, as in the parlance of the industry.
So what she does is go right one level above Doug, essentially. Doug put Tony in the I Quit match. She puts Doug Basham in the main event of the evening against Cal Hero.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Me neither.
Nope.
We'll get into that match, though, as it comes. Like I said, main event of the night. But prior to that, we had a big old five-way match between the usual suspects of a Rush Division five-way match, right?
And Icon Lee.
I'm gonna say this.
I kid.
No, we can say whatever we want. Icon is there now. Period. Icon is in that Rush Division, like.
But he wasn't billed as part of that match before the match, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
I didn't think so either.
I remember us talking about it last week. Because I could name everyone except for Will, and you guys were like, you couldn't name Will?
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
No, I think he is there. Like, I think that Icon has gotten to that point now. In all honesty, but those participants are Icon, Will, Austin, Super Z, Hoda Pesos, and Maximo Suave. Got a couple of takeaways. I'll start with the most obvious one. When are we just gonna make Hoda and Maximo a tag team?
I was hoping to see this like yesterday.
Like, this entire match was
them acting as a
tag team. Every time they're put in a multi-man match, they act as a tag team. When are we gonna do this? When are we gonna do this? Can we just go ahead and do this?
Yeah, it's obvious they are there for one another.
Yes. It's obvious they have great chemistry. Like, I always like hesitate. Like if I was booking a place just to book the people of certain ethnic things together, but like I think that with Maximo and Hoda, it's the smartest choice, right? And maybe the only choice. I will say this though is the incredible amount that was number one. That was first thing, number one. Number two, the incredible amount of restraint that Josh Ashcraft showed when Hoda Pesos did a destroyer, and Linda K goes, "Is that going to be and Josh goes, "We're not going to touch that," because it's a Canadian destroyer. And Linda was like, "Should we call that a?" And Josh automatically goes, "We are not going to touch that.
We're just going to call it a destroyer."
That is so the most. Josh, I love you. That was some of the most restraint that I did not even know. For a dude who uses the word douchebag as liberally as you do,
that was some circumspect use of language.
I thought that I genuinely laughed out loud. I genuinely laughed out loud at that. And then I guess thirdly here. We called it on the show. I think it was the right choice to have Super Z win. I think that Super Z...
It seemed like the natural choice.
I think that Super Z should probably beat Star Rider. I think that Super Z deserves a championship. I think he's put in so much work over this past year that ending the year on a championship win would be great for a lot of different reasons. Would be great for a lot, not just wrestling reasons. Mm-hmm. And then one last thing before I forget, too, Star Rider on commentary was amazing tonight. He has really pieced this thing together with the cadence, voice, and the wit. He's really kind of pieced the heel rider thing together.
Yeah.
And we saw him start to do that right here with us on Fan Zone Live when he barged in on us a few weeks ago.
That was... Man, we've already missed a whole... That was the last week of October, and we are in the second week of December.
So the last week of October, is that when the turkeys just appear for their 30-day cycle and then they leave?
Well, the pumpkins hatch.
And then that's where the turkeys come from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because pumpkins are only available in the month of October.
So can you explain Cajun turkey for me? I mean, do those come from, like, Louisiana pumpkins?
Those are wild turkeys.
No. Wild turkeys are different.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like they exist all the time. Wild turkeys exist all the time. Eating turkey does not. So if you're having Cajun turkey anytime other than in November, it's wild turkey.
Well, then I'm going to go have a wild turkey sandwich after we're finished with this episode.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Because it's
I've done my research. Now you do yours, okay?
This is just becoming the weird holiday conspiracy theory show, and I don't know that I'm necessarily opposed. But what happened next in the wrestling thing?
You ever tried to find a bomb pop on August 1st?
No.
Yeah, because you can't.
Brian, what did you
You're lucky to find them on July 5th.
I don't even know what that is.
A bomb pop?
Yeah, you talk. Oh, like the ice cream truck thing?
Yeah, bomb pop.
Man, I haven't been to the ice cream truck in I don't know how long.
Yeah,
I didn't know that they still do
COVID.
those things.
I've not seen one since COVID.
I was back in the LBC then. We didn't have such things as ice cream trucks or...
Maybe this summer. What did you think of this match, Brian? Chapman gave us some extended thoughts. What do you think?
I mean, I love the 5-man scramble in the Rush division. This is not the first time we've seen this year or some iteration of it. These are among my favorite matches. I guess my other most favorite match this year that was of this variety, where it was a Rush division match and there were ladders or tables and ladders and chairs. I can't remember. But the standout from that match was ZDP.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that ZDP made that match that much more exceptional, that much more entertaining, that much more intense. And I was glad to see that level of entertainment in this match as well, in a slightly different way. But I love these matches. I love the randomness of it, or what would seem to be random from the audience perspective. But
So
these
you-
are among my favorites.
You like the format? We're going to have ladders, and ladders are legal, but we've not put anything up ahead. Just got to get a pinfall.
It's just the fact that there are 5 people all vying to win this match, and there are other external factors that aren't ordinarily part of a match.
And it's these 5 people.
It's
five
these
of
five
of the
people.
fastest, most
Yeah.
athletic people.
So it's going to be a fast-paced match. As soon as somebody lands, a punch or a kick with somebody, that the person that receives that is going to fall down, and then somebody's going to come up and attack them, and it's nonstop, and it's Hoda hitting Icon, and then Icon getting hit by Maximo, and then Will Austin clucking him from the back, and then Super Z sliding in and hitting Will Austin. So it's just fast-paced, nonstop, and these are among my favorite matches. I mean, Battle Royal being probably the most favorite of multi-man matches, but this one is right up there too.
I do want to go over the ending sequence. We mentioned that Super Z won. You did mention but I do want to make it clear as we're getting into this ending sequence specifically. Ladders were weapons in this. There was nothing hanging above the ring to grab.
No, they were just something that was not off limits like they ordinarily are.
Super Z climbs to the top of an awfully rickety ladder, and Icon, I think, kind of notices that this is going to take a while. He gets up there, I think, from what it looked like to me, and I'm no expert, either to break the pacing, to make it look a little bit more legitimate, to communicate, hey, are we still doing this? All credit to Icon on making what was a kind of, in all honesty, dangerous and slow traversal up that ladder, kind of keep allowing you to keep suspension of disbelief, right?
Plus, Icon jumping on that other side probably stabilized the ladder, because before he did, if you watch, that ladder starts shimmying in ways I am not comfortable with.
I think that was a real smart move on Icon Lee's part. And I guess that's, why? That's because he's part of this thing now. He just is.
So when we did Fan Zone last week and we were talking about this match, did anybody predict that Super Z was going to fly from the top of the ladder?
I think we should have, but none of us did.
That certainly would have been a reasonable prediction, but I don't know. I don't have my notes for that.
That was a trick question. Yeah, I call that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Nice. I know that I think we all came to the conclusion that Super Z was the most likely winner.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But
that was
you
the only
did get
thing I predicted would happen, because that was the thing I wanted to see most. I wanted to see Super Z fly from the top of the ladder.
And you were not disappointed?
I was not disappointed. As a matter of fact, I think our good friend Matthew got a very nice picture of that.
I guarantee you did, buddy.
I'll have to go back through and look at my messages. He's sent me quite a few amazing pictures this week, not just of in-ring action from OVW, but did I show
I saw
you?
that one of
that sunrise.
Yeah, it
I
was
absolutely
insane.
love that sunrise.
I don't even know how you do that. It looks like he did it on Microsoft Paint.
It looks like some kind of gothic
Yeah,
piece of
it looks
art.
like he
Absolutely love
manipulated it past just taking a frame and exposure and stuff.
I don't know. I absolutely.
But Matthew doesn't have to do that. He's just a good, talented photographer. So.
Phenomenal. Yeah,
Imberry Photos, guys, follow it.
that's correct.
Final match of the night here. Doug Basham. Oh wait, no, we got a whole ass contract signing.
You're just gonna blow past the fact that Freya went bananas
And
just lost her shit on everybody.
so here I guess let's start there. Have we ever seen a contract signing not end like this in OVW?
I think in general, in terms of wrestling, they end up being something like this around 90 to 95% of the time. It's never both sides sit down, shake hands, and agree formally, and then, well, I'll go see you in 2 weeks when we do this thing. No, it's never like that.
I don't disagree with the format. In fact, there's something comforting about inevitability in wrestling. There's something very comforting about seeing a contract signing and knowing that it's gonna end poorly, right?
I love the anticipation of knowing that that's how it's going to end. You just don't know how it's going to get there.
Having said that, Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome when Freya flipped stuff over and it turned it into a total badass. But what did Jebediah Blackhawk have to do with it?
Right? Seriously, Freya. Come on,
Freya
man.
got up.
I could not believe that. She
Smacked
knocked him
the
into
shit.
next
She
week.
smacked the shit out of him, boy.
I felt so bad about that. And I mean,
oh,
and
man.
almost as bad as I felt about the fact that we forgot to say happy birthday on the fan zone that week because it was his birthday like right before Thanksgiving. And
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna call an audible here, and I'm going to blame it on the fact that we had guests.
We did.
Yeah, so that is why that escaped us. But as of right now, I would like to take the opportunity to say an unofficial happy birthday, belated birthday to one Jebediah Blackhawk.
And all he got for his birthday was,
A fat lip.
golly.
Jesus.
Molly whopped.
Okay, and on top
Yeah,
of that,
his
he
word.
got a really good cover photo.
I did. You did show me that.
Yeah.
You did show me that. And it's like, that's also the funniest thing in the world is to make yourself your own photo on social media, a picture of you getting slapped in the face.
Okay, we watch clips of the show while we are talking about the show, but we are in the middle of this part of the night's festivities, and we just have to watch this for the sake of saying we watched that. Okay, here comes security. You see Jebediah come around to the backside of the ring, and the referees are holding J-Rod back from getting in and confronting Freya, and here comes Jebediah, and he's there. They're trying to calm Freya down. She hits the referee. She knocks the other guy over, and as Jebediah is trying to restrain her, which she's not really doing successfully. We're almost
She
there.
slaps him.
She
Slaps him.
she just slaps him, just bam.
Slaps the taste out of mouth, makes him bow down to
Oh,
the
there
roll.
it is. Oh,
The,
no, that wasn't a slap. That was a closed fist right to the jaw, man.
I like a slap.
Well, I mean, that,
But
that-
you're right. You're right.
That's not what he got in this
That-
case. I'm sure he didn't enjoy either
so,
of those.
So why did it have to be Jebediah Blackhawk?
I don't know, but poor Jeb.
She's been beating up on Jebediah through this whole arc with J-Rod. Jeb has been trying to restrain her, and not being as successful as he would like to be.
That's a very nice man, and I won't stand for it.
Yeah,
I
me either.
won't stand for this. This violence will not stand, man.
Yeah, he's he knocked him halfway back to Hawk Hollow. Hawk Holler.
I was gonna say, where's Hawk Hollow, sir?
There's no such place.
Well,
Hawk
good-
Holler's a place.
well, good evening,
I
gentle.
thought you were from the holler.
Good evening, gentleman. Where is Hawk Hollow? Can you please point me in the direction of Hawk Hollow?
Hawk Creek is right beside of it.
Perchance might you direct me to the hollow of the hawk. And anyway,
Terrible Hawk impression.
So yeah, we got another one in the books for Christmas Chaos. We're building in a real nice pay-per-view here.
oh yeah.
Final match of the evening. Cal Hero, Doug Basham, as booked by Katie Gannon. Doug, okay. Here's my big takeaways. When things first start getting real, I know you're entertained. Malachi, I swear to God, if you turn on that damn song.
No, we don't do it here. Don't
Malachi,
you do it.
I swear to God, if you
No.
turn on that damn song.
Don't you do it, son. Put it. Don't. I see your finger
For
hovering
the
over
love
the button.
of God and all that is holy, if that song drops, I'm pretty sure that both of us are just going to be like out.
Let
Yeah,
me just
let's
say.
make sure they-
Let me just say this, Cal. So Cal kind of when things first started to get like ultimately aggressive, like after Doug is forced Daniel to check Cal over, basically for ticks at that point. Cal comes out and throws two massive arm drags on Doug.
Yes.
Massive,
Right off the bat.
steamboat style arm drags on Doug. That was, for me, that was enough. Like, that was like to see Cal throw Doug Basham down. The visual of that in storyline was fantastic. And Doug, you ain't lost it.
No,
Those were
not at all.
those were some incredibly high, incredibly tight arm drags.
I did not expect to see this as the main event.
I'm pretty sure, I was thinking about it, I'm pretty sure after last year's Blizzard Brawl, there was a press release that Doug was retiring from the ring. And now I'm not sure why, because that was a fun match as long as it lasted.
It definitely was.
This version of Doug Basham, I think, is having a blast, having the time of his life playing this version of Doug Basham. We kind of don't get a result here.
No, this is a messy finish.
Yeah, the Revolution, as they usually do, come out and kind of intimidate the OVW personality, whoever they may be. And Mr. Cashflow comes out to kind of equal the playing field here. It seems like Cal and Cash have become
Tight.
very tight. Is it maybe that Cash isn't as around as often and he's like leaving the OVW in the good hands of Cal Hero? Is there a little like handoff of sorts here?
I don't know.
Could be.
I hadn't thought about it, but it's entirely possible. It would appear so over the course of the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, if you got to think too, your Cal Hero, Doug Basham's one of your mentors, and he's turned his back on OVW. So where else are you going to go? You got to go to a guy that's always, well, not other than that whole legacy of brutality thing, always been a heart and backbone at OVW, and that's Cashflow.
That's true.
So here's how we sit at the end of the night. We know every match at the pay-per-view is in a steel cage.
That is correct.
So we have Dustin Jackson versus AJZ. We have J-Rod and Freya. We have Tony and Cal. And we have Super Z and Star Rider. Do we see another match get added to that card on this as a result of something that happens on this week's Thursday night show?
I would imagine at least two.
Oh, we also have Shannon. We assume Shannon the Dude and Leo Fox versus Godders and Revolver.
I hope so.
And I think that will get announced. At least Revolver the Dude, but I'm thinking Godders, Revolver, the Dude versus Leo Fox.
Probably something along those lines.
And I'm gonna assume we'll see at least 1 to 2 more matches come the night of that maybe aren't as tied in directly to storyline.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
If this is Christmas Chaos and it's the last pay-per-view of the year, what do you want for Christmas Chaos? Outside of the things that have been announced, what is something that has not been announced that you want to see at Christmas Chaos? December 14th, Hot Point Davis Arena.
A match from Brandon Beretta in the suit.
The turkey suit?
The bird suit. Star Player Prime and Boy Toy Troy.
Okay. I would love to see Brandon Beretta versus Cowpoke Paul.
Yep. Actually, that's what I want to.
See?
I'm going to take a big swing. I want to see Star Rider versus Super Z get upgraded, not just for the belt, but mask versus mask.
Who was it that said that on our on the fan zone?
It's been
One
percolating.
One of the fans said that. That's what they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with them.
I do too, and I've already thought about how that would potentially play out. But I love that idea. I definitely do.
I don't. It's not that I don't love the idea. I don't know if it's time for it right now, because if we're getting down to brass tacks, there's only one of them that can lose the mask, and he just got it.
I don't know. I assume you're.
I don't think Star Rider wants to wrestle without the mask on. I think,
that's a given. That's obvious.
I think that more than anything, I think that Star Rider is like, he considers himself a masked wrestler.
Well,
like,
hold on. Just because there is a mask versus mask match doesn't necessarily directly imply that you will get to see the face of the loser who is maskless.
Oh, then there's no point in having it. If they're not cutting the hair off at the end of the match, why have
well, they've already got a belt on the line.
Yeah, well, if you're not dropping mask right there in the middle of the ring, then I don't book it. But I think that and this comes from the interview that we did with him. He was saddled with Star Rider kind of as this is a character that we give to people when we don't know what to do with them, and he has made Star Rider into the Star Rider we see today. And I think that wrestling in a mask means a lot to him. I think it's kind of what gets him going.
It most definitely does.
So yeah, I think those are my lingering questions, or my thoughts kind of heading into the Rise this week. We'll know a lot more about what Saturday looks like at 9 o'clock on Thursday night.
And then
That's
we
true.
will talk about it on Friday afternoon, and it'll be out Saturday morning before the pay-per-view, so you have time to hear our thoughts but after you watch Thursday, but before you actually have to go to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's the drive to the pay-per-view show.
All right, so you guys ready to get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
Indeed.
Have a great night, folks.
Love you guys.
Thanks again.